Good morning, thanks for joining me today on my channel. This is Discovering My Money, and I'm just out for my morning walk. And I've been contemplating how I'm going to start budgeting for this move that I think I want to do. Right, so it's a change in lifestyle to some degree. So I'm trying to determine how much money I'm going to have coming in. I'm trying to determine what my future living arrangements are going to be, what's my cost, and kind of, all the different things that come along with this change in life. So once I kind of have that determined, I want to start planning it out, have a budget. And it started me thinking, for anybody who's new to budgeting, anybody who's younger, who is, potentially looking for their first house, or even you're just moving out for the first time for rent, this is a great one. So if you're still living at home with your parents and you're young and you don't have a lot of experience with budgeting or even earning money, maybe you're at a first job or something. So what you do is you find out approximately what your rent would be, and you take that money out of your account every day and you put it into a savings. You maybe do this for like 3 to 6 months or whatever. Maybe moving out is something more immediate, but do it at least for 1 or 2 months, just to say, okay, this is what I'm gonna have left over. Now there's gonna be other expenses, like, are you gonna have cable? Do you have to pay for the water, electricity? Any of those expenses might be extra on top of that. So you might wanna be aware and take a little bit extra out. But if you can't survive at home where you don't have to put the money out, right? And you can go a step further. Now you can start deciding how much gas I'm gonna have to spend. How much food am I have to buy? Are you paying for your food now? If you're not, you're gonna have to, right? You're gonna be doing stuff like doing your own laundry. Maybe not. Maybe you're still coming home to do your laundry. This is more of a freedom movement. But everything that you need to do on your own, you can start budgeting it in a way that says, I can handle this financially. And it's kind of a test run while you're still at home. For me, it's kind of a test run to kind of say, my expenses are going to change, they're going to increase. I'm going to have possibly less income for a short period of time. How am I going to manage that? So I assume my income will be lower, my expenses slightly higher. And I'm assuming that it's only going to be for a short term. But while I'm making the adjustment, I'm going to have to be able to cope. So that's what I'm really trying to do, is budget it in my mind and see, is this feasible, or am I going to put myself in the hole? So for me, it's a practical thing to get myself set up, understand where I'm going to be and how I'm going to handle it as far as expenses, day-to-day living, and is it manageable? And if it's not, how do I make it manageable? Or how do I change the plan so that it's manageable? A lot of questions, and I think when I get it figured out, I'm going to be much happier with my move, and it's not going to be as stressful. It's going to put me in a positive position once I get there, instead of putting my life in kind of a constant state of panic. I highly recommend this for anybody new moving out for the first time, especially if you're younger, because you're used to your parents paying for everything. You're used to things just kind of being there. If you run out of money, you just go, hey, can I have some money? And if your parents are generous with their money, you get it, which makes things worse for you now, because now you have less reality. Kids who parents don't always just give them the money, maybe more in the reality, but you're still living at home where there's not that negative thing where you run out of money, you run out of food, you run out of ability to live, right? So it's definitely a good way to do it. Now, if you've been living in a certain reality for a certain period of time, and you've had a job that pays you really well, and you've had a situation where your expenses are under control, changing that up is a very similar type of situation. So you need to put yourself in the shoes of where you're going to be, so that new reality doesn't shock you. All right, so I hope this is helpful. Click subscribe and like, follow along. I do have some links down below if you're looking for basic budget tips to get started, just basic stuff. but if you're brand new, it might help you out. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you for the next video.